What's up, everybody? It's the liberal loudmouth, and I'm always here with.
The real Ron. Ron,
What's
how you
up,
doing
Ron?
today? I'm
Shoot,
ready
I'm
for
good.
some, I'm ready for some dissent, son. You got anything for us?
Yeah, I've been working on that a little bit. I saw some things trending. National Anthem was trending earlier, and you already saw that video I made. You want me to just go ahead and crank it
Man,
up?
you have to. You have to. Y'all have to watch this little. It's a minute long or something,
Yeah, it's just over a minute. I
and
can
it's
put it up
phenomenal.
here.
Very powerful. Yeah, play that, please.
Yeah, and I want to preface the video with I am of the school of thought that people protesting a flag or the anthem, to me, that is a liberty that we have. That's one of the reasons that we fought these things, so that we have the freedom to do that. And I was irritated by the backlash that the U.S. National Women's Team was getting. So I created it. I wrote this poem, and I made this video, and that's why it is what it is. So here we go.
Can I say? Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I also appreciate the rights to protest the flag and all that kind of stuff. I don't agree with them though. I just want everybody to know that if you go to burn a flag around me, well, there's going to be some furniture because whatever. Anyway, go ahead. This is a great video.
All right, here we go. Here we go. And listen closely to the words. In the realm of freedom's flight, let us heed a truth profound, that liberty's true strength is in the dissenting sound. For when voices rise in protest, challenging the norm, it is then that freedom's flame burns bright, fierce, and warm. Let us honor those who dare to stand and object, to question the anthem's words, its ideals to reflect. For in the crucible of dissent, we forge a stronger land, where every soul finds solace, where justice firmly stands. It takes courage to dissent, to speak against the tide, to challenge what's been long revered, to let your conscience guide. But history tells the tales of the brave and bold, whose dissenting voices spark change, whose stories are still told. So let us celebrate the ones who kneel and who resist, the ones who rise and take a stand, though their path may be dismissed. For it is in their dissenting hearts we find a nation's soul, a beacon of democracy where all can be made whole. In unity we find strength, but let us not forget that freedom thrives in voices bold in those who won't submit. Let every person have the right to object, to dissent, to speak, for it's the heart of liberty, a truth we must not tweak. And there we are.
That was
Good
so
shit,
that's
man.
powerful. I didn't know that you could write, dude. That was powerful, man. I mean, I know we wrote some hit songs together, but that was powerful, dude.
I mean, overall, it is well.
It is well. It is well.
I wrote that song. You see, John Mark, he was copying off of me. That's what that was.
We have a lot of people copying off of us, man. You remember that thing I sent you yesterday? People with podcasts are inviting just whoever wants to come on the podcast.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, yeah, we're more popular than people give us credit for, I think. But speaking of dissent, we had some crazy things going on with the Elena Ashley, a Tulsa Public School board member, right? What was that all about?
I don't think it's crazy at all, dude. I think that the entire GOP elite establishment, elected officials, all your key players that are the establishment, like Charity Marcus, the BLM supporter, she put the press conference together for Dana. She was the one speaking to the media about it. Then you had Rhonda up there filming stuff. You had Jesse Leon Rogers of City Elders was there, Ryan Walters, Lena Ashley. You had Cheryl Johnson. She's in the GOP, I think, somehow. I mean, all these people that I have been friends with for years, still friends with a lot of them, they were the only ones there. I didn't see any grassroots parents, and I think that speaks to the fact that Nathan Dahm was there, Wayne Hill was there. This speaks to the fact that the GOP cannot get supportive grassroots parents out there to support these type of things when they're just talking heads. They're just trying to get clicks and get cameras out there.
That's really what it felt like to me too. I will say, and in the sense of fairness, I have been told, at least this is the talking point they're using, that the reason there wasn't a lot of people on their side at that press conference was because they just didn't get the word out quickly enough. So I don't know how true that is. Take it for what it's worth, but it is what it is.
That may be true, but you know me, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and usually everybody is. Even Noah was a conspiracy theorist until it started raining. I was talking to a good friend of mine. It's been probably a month or so, and they were talking to me about me bashing Ryan Walters. Like I don't bash Ryan Walters. I just want him to do what I elected him to do. And we were going back and forth, and I was like, when's the last time the dude's been to Tulsa? And they were like, well, he's coming at the end of July. I was like, okay, I'll hold my breath. Well, son of a bitch. All of a sudden, Alina Ashley gets a letter from the school board and says, you're in trouble for praying at a commencement speech you gave at the end of May. And all of a sudden, Ryan Walters is in Tulsa with Dana Perito, and I mean, the whole GOP establishment decides to throw this big event, and they get on the news, and they're protecting religious freedoms, and they're saving America.
Right.
Come on, who's drinking that Kool-Aid?
They're saving themselves from the persecution of Christians, Ron. Didn't you know? I mean, they're only like 70% of the population. The only time that persecution doesn't happen is when they reach 80+%. So they're still working on that.
Man, I'm probably completely wrong on that conspiracy theory, but the dude showed up. Tulsa Public Schools has the lowest proficiency scores, I believe, in the state of Oklahoma,
and it has for a while.
And the dude showed up to talk about protecting the rights of a board member for religious freedoms,
and not the low proficiency scores. Because what was it that he was coming to Tulsa to do? He was going to talk about their accreditation, right?
Right. About
that was.
Failures
this was this was prior to Alina Ashley's debacle, if you will. So then all of a sudden it all just kind of coincides with each other, the timing. So
right,
I mean it is what it is. You can take it for what it's worth, but
and I'll tell you this, I want to see a press release with a very concise plan on how you're going to improve those proficiency scores. You're going to give a bunch of money to a bunch of tutors and do smaller classes, and you're gonna take people's cell phones away so that they are actually able to learn. And you're going, I want all hell Ryan. Ooh, Lane, that's bad.
That's crazy.
I love Ryan, but I'm not all hell Ryan. No.
Well, as long as he's not doing one of these.
Yeah, if you'd spelled it all HELL.
Don't take my cell phone. Come at me, bro.
You would be the smartest person in the world if you didn't have a cell phone in class. I grew up, that's why I scored 27 on my ACT, because I didn't have that cell phone.
Yeah, I mean, there are private schools that will cost, they cost out the ass, but they have no electronics. They're like chalkboard and chalk, paper and pen. I mean, to me, that's the way it should be, because if you're writing stuff on paper, you're not only thinking about what you're writing, you're actively doing something. And to me, you're going to retain a lot more information than if you're just staring at a screen. But
here's the thing. I can provide facts for what I'm saying about the cell phone.
Lane, read that, Ron.
When I need legal overwatch, I know to call Timmy. I'm going to speak to that. Don't forget about that. I'm going to speak to that for just a second, too. But.
Okay. Yeah, I assume Ken. So for those who aren't aware, Legal Overwatch was my attorney, consists of one lawyer, Maria Seidler. So, but go ahead, Ron, and tie the Legal Overwatch into this issue with Elena.
Well, hang on a second. I want to make one real quick point about the cell phone.
Okay.
I grew up in Muskogee County, just south of Muskogee, in a place called Warner. There was 43 of us graduated high school. That school is the best rated school in Muskogee County And one of the reasons it's rated the best and has the best proficiency and is the best graduation rate is because they have a zero tolerance for cell phones. When you walk into school, if your cell phone goes off, you go to the office, you get detention. If you need to call your parents or have an emergency, go to the office like we did back in the 90s. You
Right.
don't have a reason to have that cell phone in your hand when you're trying to learn.
And it's not hard for Ryan to come out and support stuff like that. But I
Right.
haven't seen him say jack shit about anything related to
I
his
haven't seen
thoughts on. Yeah, nothing. It's
what
just
happened to the parent hotline where you can call and directly go to his office. Haven't seen that implemented. It may be. I don't know. If it is, let me know.
well, he fired all his staff, so there'd be a phone number that you call, and it's like, we're sorry, we have no available representatives to take your call, and then you leave a voicemail, and it goes off to the void.
And I do want Ryan to succeed, and I do have a hope that he will succeed. I'm hoping that this is just, hey, I won state superintendent, and I'm 35 years old, or however old he is, and I'm really good looking. I got a great head of hair, and I'm wanting to feel this for a little bit, but we'll see. But that was funny. That was good timing too. The laugh after I said he had a good head of hair.
I've got somebody who texted me is what that is. Sorry, guys. So unprofessional.
Let me tie in legal Overwatch. Legal Overwatch is an oxymoron in this case, in my opinion. But legal Overwatch is a law. It's a law firm, or it's like a corporation. It's LLC.
Non-profit, I believe. Not for profit.
501c3. Yeah. And the filing agent for this nonprofit is Ken Malloy, who is, I guess, married to Maria Seidler, who is the lawyer.
Okay, so correction. Legal Overwatch is separate from the, I can't remember what they called it, the Constitutional Center for whatever, Oklahoma Center for Constitutional Analysis. So has Ken Malloy as the founder. Legal Overwatch, I believe, is solely Maria Seidler.
Maria, right. You're right.
You're right. But it's almost one and the same because they're husband and wife. So
Supposedly,
but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to clarify that.
No,
Go
that's
ahead.
Good. Anyhow, I saw Ken, and I know Ken, and I know Maria, and Tim and I have been in their home, and I love Ken. I'd probably drink a beer and hang out
Ken.
with him. He's shit-faced. But I don't know if it was Bert's fault or if it was Ken's fault, but Ken was interviewed on Channel 8 the other night and it said Ken Malloy, attorney. And Ken Malloy is not a practicing attorney as far as I can find. He's not licensed in the state of Oklahoma. And yet he was talking about legal stuff to Bert and had given an opinion to Elena Ashley, I believe is what he said. And that really struck a nerve with me. I'm like, dude, you're not a cop. Don't go busting in doors and arresting people. You can't be either you are an attorney or you're not. But anyhow, that bothered me. I like to call it's petty, I guess, but it is what it is.
I don't think it's petty, but I don't think it's against the law necessarily to put yourself out as a lawyer, although it may be. I don't know. I know that the bar does not like that at all. So the bar would self-regulate in that regard and, get on to him. But I will say this. Ken's mind, his legal mind is perfectly sound. I've listened to that man talk. He's very sharp. I would trust his spoken word more than I would trust his wife's spoken word because his wife, she's great with writing. It's like he's a great orator. She's a great writer. You put them both together and they make a damn good lawyer.
They make a damn good lawyer.
But last I knew, his license had been retired, and he, never got it back, but that may have changed. I don't know, but we couldn't find him in the bar. I hope he does become a licensed attorney in Oklahoma, though, because I thought he was phenomenal. To be quite honest with you,
I don't think Maria is a phenomenal lawyer, and that's just me. But Ken, I would love to prop up Ken. I mean, he's brilliant as far as I can see. I know that he was a great practicing attorney at one time. I do hope that he gets it back. And these are two people that wrote like 1,000-word essay about how shitty Tim and I were, and we're handing it out at the Tulsa GOP convention as people
To our
were
faces.
to our face. They handed it.
This dude. Yeah. Ken walked up to both of us. We were both standing there. He walked, I just wanted to hand this to you. And I'm like, well, thanks, Ken.
Right. And it was obviously written by Maria because it was so wordy. And it was hard to read. But Ken had the balls to walk up and say, hey, I just want to let you know to your face, I'm passing this out. I appreciate
and it was just a defamation letter is all it was. It was shitting on me and Ron and, whatever. At first I took issue with it, but I got to thinking, I'm like, she's talking all this trash, but I'm like, all anybody has to do is spend 10 minutes with her.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they have to do. Or a couple of days.
Back to the Atlanta Ashley press conference. Moms for Liberty was there, but how did Moms for Liberty know that they were doing it? Why couldn't they get out to the grassroots parents, to all these clubs, the Terras, the Tulsa Men's Clubs, all these Rope and what is it? The Tulsa Project 918, the Rhonda's Club, her huge club. Really, you're trying to spin it like you were outnumbered because you didn't know that you were Jason Aldeaning people?
Right. This is something that came up today because I've been speaking to a senator pretty much since 8 o'clock this morning, back and forth. This person and I don't agree. What's that?
I said one of the many senators and reps that's been calling you all day. I'm a little bit jealous, Tim.
Well, don't be. I don't understand it. I don't get it, but especially since I'm not even in state anymore. So they waited until I left, and they're like, "Well, he's of no consequence anymore. Now I can talk to him." So according to them, they didn't think that it was going to be some big deal. They were just going to hold a press conference, probably with the news channel, and then once they realized that the crowd was growing and kept growing and growing, then they were like, "Well, crap!" And by then it was too late. That's the story they're sticking to. So, I don't know how much of that is true. Again, I do want to point out, and I was a little disappointed in Bert when he posted the clip of what Elena Ashley had said. And if you aren't aware, she basically did this prayer at a graduation commencement speech, and that upset some people. Well, Bert had cut out the first part where she said, "Now I would like everybody to pray with me," or something like that. And she was announced as a board member who represented that school. So she was up there in her official capacity as, an elected representative, asking people to pray with her at a completely non-religious ceremony. And to me, do what?
What would you have done had she said that and you had been there?
I would have rolled my eyes and just dealt with it because, I lived in Oklahoma all my life. There's no getting around it. It's irritating. But what I can say is that even as an atheist, I will bow my head because I don't want to hear the comments. I don't want to have somebody come to me afterward, which has happened multiple times, and people make comments and say things to me about not bowing my head, this, that, and the other. It's irritating. I don't want to deal with it. So I just, just disregard my own beliefs so that I can be a part of the group. That's why I don't like those things, because it's stupid for me to have to do that just so that I don't have to deal with some, social issues related to it.
It's the same thing. It's the same feeling I had when I was in 5th grade in Miss Hammondtree's class, and God love her. She was one of my favorite teachers, but she was very religious. But she didn't force it on us. But we would do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then she said, "Okay, we're going to have a moment of prayer." I didn't know how to pray, and everybody around me acted like they did, so I just did what they did, just so nobody would notice that I didn't know how to pray. And it was it made me feel insecure every day.
Yep, and we've actually talked about this before on the show.
I figured that being Native American, you would have you want a prayer? I'll show you a prayer.
Well, we went to a church when I was a kid. I went to church quite regularly, like every Sunday at some parts of my life. But as a kid, I just believed it because I thought it was, that was true. If you're a kid, somebody tells you something, an adult that you respect, that you're going to believe it. And if they keep telling you that all the way till you're an adult, you're going to believe it as an adult. But speaking of the religious beliefs and stuff, we put Scott Pressler's name up on in the title because he apparently is gay, which that's cool. But he's going to give like training seminars to the Republicans, and they're welcoming him, which I think is great. But at the same time, when they like cherry pick everything from the Bible, it is weird to me because they generally don't accept homosexuality in Christianity. And I'd like to read from the good book here about what that is. It says here, Leviticus 18:22, do not have sexual relations with a man as one does with a woman. That is detestable. There's multiple verses here, and I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying that their own religion says that they can't do it, yet they will. And I hate to say this, but it feels like he's a token gay guy, so they can turn around and say, "Well, I'm not a homophobe. I was trained by a gay guy."
100%.
Do you think that's what they're doing?
100%. And I this is the one I really wanted to touch on because there's two parts to this. One of it is the hypocrisy. If you go to right now, if you go and Google Oklahoma GOP platform and you read through that, it talks about we believe in the marriage of a man and a woman. And that is every one of those people at the Tulsa GOP, including Dana Perito and Nathan Dahm and Ryan Walters and all those people, they believe marriage needs to be between a man and a woman. Homosexuality is a sin against God.
Yeah,
that is biblical. If they don't, then they don't believe in the Bible, and you're not going to talk to me. I don't have a problem with people being gay. I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. But when you
that's
invite,
the platform.
That's the platform that you stand behind, that you are fighting for. And when you invite an openly gay homosexual man, he dresses really nice, has great hair, talks real soft. I've actually met him, seen him. It was awkward. I was like, I can't believe I'm at a GOP convention or what event, and this dude is the headliner, because that's not what the GOP platform stands behind. So the hypocrisy of these people to say Ron has to be kicked out of the GOP because he voted for a Democrat in a nonpartisan race.
Bingo.
But we invite this homosexual to teach us how to ballot harvest, and that's what he's teaching people.
I want to clarify for you that is not how you feel about it. I want to make sure that the audience understands that, right? That's not how you feel about homosexuality. The platform for Republicans.
Right. There were several things in the platform that I did not agree with. One of them was homosexuality, man, woman. I believe in civil liberties is the umbrella that I have. If it's your civil, if you want to do it, you can do it. As long as it's not in my face, bothering me at my house, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. Same with abortion, same with gay marriage. As long as it's not costing me money or forcing it down my neck, do you. I mean, I'm going to do unto others as I would want done to myself.
And I only say that because there are people that will take what you said and they're like, oh, my God, did you hear what Ron said? I want to make absolutely clear that Ron doesn't feel that way. He never has.
I'll say hi to Sandy. And then I want Tina to explain that comment.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Sandy. Tina, what caution? Please tell us.
Hold on. Let me get to this real quick. I talked to Rhonda yesterday. Seems we may hit the reset button and have lunch sometime. Kind of hope it works out because we need all hands on deck. I want to come back to this because there are some things within the BA, the GOP party stuff that we really need to touch on. We kind of alluded to it the last time.
Yeah, it's coming.
Tina Michelle, can you expand on this? We're not sure exactly what it is you're referring to. Please proceed with caution, just saying. And where's that cig? I mean, it's down in here in my lungs.
If Tina's talking about me trying. I'm not trying to keep Scott Pressler out of teaching people how to win elections. Scott Pressler is brilliant. He does seem to have a system and a way to do this and teach people. I'm just calling out the hypocrisy of the GOP and the platform that they stand behind, and then invite somebody that they say is biblically should be stoned.
And it should be pointed out that means they are willing to kind of omit their own feelings as it relates to putting themselves out as something that they're really actually not and don't believe in, so that they could lie to you about their own beliefs.
I see what Tina was talking about.
Yeah, she was talking about Rhonda and Lane. So as it relates to like Rhonda and the rest of this GOP stuff, so we got a glimpse of the GOP party and how like clicked up these people are, right? When you were running, didn't we see a little bit of that in Broken Arrow as well?
Oh, the clicks in Broken Arrow are dog nutted up like I ain't never seen in my life.
Oh man, it's the things I've learned over the last, I don't know, few days, very eye-opening. I'll just say that there are some people out there that are glad that they get to appoint people rather than allow an election to happen. Now, how shitty do you... What's that?
That's un-American to me.
It absolutely is.
And for you to take that away from the constituents in the BA, I think the BA constituents should be throwing a fit.
I think they will. I think they will once they realize what happened to them and how the wool was pulled over their eyes in some regards. I think we're going to break this story. I really do. I got a good feeling about this. There's a lot more going on in the BA that Tim and I have been talking about, and we like to make sure that we're factual and we got our ducks in a row before we just spit out some conspiracy theories, unless you're me and I just say shit. But there's some pretty gnarly stuff going on out there, and we're dog with the bone. So if you're in BA and you've been doing some naughty things, be careful.
Yeah, you better tie up your loose strings. I mean, don't be killing people, but
because we do consider ourselves journalists to a degree. We have an obligation. What's that?
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, I've been paid, but
you have. That's right. You have.
Yeah.
Actually.
But
journalism though, you were paid to speak though, weren't you?
Oh no! For journalism, yeah. I've been paid to write articles and stuff. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. I mean, I used to own a writing company where I wrote for people as like a ghostwriter. If you're not familiar with that, what that is, it's somebody who writes under another person's pen name. So a lot of these best-selling authors, a lot of those people don't even write the damn books that they sell. They hire somebody else to write the book and then use their name to promote the book as if they wrote it. And then they put the other person's name down as the author.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It happens pretty regularly. That's why you can see people who have a hard time formulating sentences, putting out books. It's really not them.
Because I've seen you speak, and I know that you're a great speaker, that you have been paid for speaking events and stuff. Because, I mean, look at the video you just came out with. I didn't even recognize that was your voice until like the second verse. And I was like, oh, shit, that's Tim. What a great voice.
Yeah, I really like that video. We actually have more viewers now. Should we play it again?
Yeah, play it again.
It's pretty short.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty short. Let me pull this back up here. I'll bring it back to the beginning. All right, here we go. This, I'll tell everybody that's new here that this is about liberty and freedom, and it came as a result of a national anthem being trending on Twitter because of the U.S. national women's team for soccer. Some of them didn't hold their hands over their hearts, and everybody got upset about it. So that's where this came to be.
In the realm of freedom's flight, let us heed a truth profound, that liberty's true strength is in the dissenting sound. For when voices rise in protest, challenging the norm, it is then that freedom's flame burns bright, fierce, and warm. Let us honor those who dare to stand and object, to question the anthem's words, its ideals to reflect. For in the crucible of dissent, we forge a stronger land, where every soul finds solace, where justice firmly stands. It takes courage to dissent, to speak against the tide, to challenge what's been long revered, to let your conscience guide. But history tells the tales of the brave and bold, whose dissenting voices spark change, whose stories are still told. So let us celebrate the ones who kneel and who resist, the ones who rise and take a stand, though their path may be dismissed. For it is in their dissenting hearts we find a nation's soul, a beacon of democracy where all can be made whole. In unity we find strength, but let us not forget that freedom thrives in voices bold in those who won't submit. Let every person have the right to object, to dissent, to speak, for it's the heart of liberty, a truth we must not tweak.
That's
Boom.
good shit, dude. That's good shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was
Like that. That is good stuff. Even the background looks good. Did you have to pay for that?
so they have a place where you can get like stock footage. You pay a monthly fee and you can have access to all these clips. And I just went through there and I'm like, patriotic fireworks. And I'm like, I thought about putting a bunch of like clips of protests and stuff like that, but then I'm like, no, that's not really what I'm going for.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, because the message is like to dissent in that way to me is the ultimate freedom. And when you do that, it reminds everybody how free you actually are. And if you take that away, how free are you?
I love it. I just have to be a dissenting voice here. I'm not shitting on Scott Pressler, but when I see people like Dana Perito, who came to Oklahoma from New York to go to Rhema Bible College, talk about he is so glad that they're inviting this homosexual man to teach them how to win elections. It's just mind-boggling to me. And then Ryan Walters, who wants to protect the freedom of Christianity, to get up there. And Nathan Dom is the most religious. I mean, if anybody's going to heaven, it's that son of a bitch. I mean,
that's a fair point. Yeah, and I have no problem with them doing that at all. I think it's great, actually. But then when you, in the same breath, you try and push the Supreme Court to revoke the rights of gay people to marry each other, it's like
Dana Perito, would you vote if Oklahoma wanted to ban gay marriage? Would you vote for or against that?
Yeah, I think that's a fair question to ask. That's absolutely a fair question to ask.
I don't know that it's a fair question, but it's whatever benefits them at the time.
It really is. Yeah. And well, let me ask you, what do you feel about the Elena Ashley prayer? Like, what did you think when you saw it?
I think that I've been to 2 different graduations this year. One of my daughters graduated from Muskogee Hilldale. The other one graduated from Owasso. There were prayers at both of those commencement speeches, and it didn't affect me whatsoever. I stood there, I watched, we went on, everything was fine.
Were they by board members or school officials, or were they by students?
They were by students.
And therein lies the difference, I think, when, as a student,
realize that until I said that.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, get up there if that's how you feel. You're acting in your own individual capacity, but then you get it's just a gray area that I don't think we need to wade into, because you start chipping those things away, and eventually they just chip the whole damn thing off, and it's like, I don't know. That's how I see it.
And nobody is it's a distraction. I think it's a purposeful distraction away from the real issues of public schools, religion and LGBTQ and all these different things. They They have nothing to do with fucking public schools. Public schools
Right.
is there to educate children, and these people are just failing our children.
Yep. And matter of fact, I'm gonna share the link to that video I did yesterday that I think you thought was funny. I thought it was funny.
No, it was spot on. It was great.
Oh, it started playing. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. So this is a video I did about that very thing, and I'm talking about how, like Ron was saying, that this is it's performative nonsense that they do to just generate buzz and to keep themselves in the limelight. And it is my opinion. I have no proof of this, but it is my opinion that this is a conspiracy to help degrade the view from the public of public schools, all of the things that they're doing, shining the light on every little, indiscretion that happens at these schools, so that people start to look at public schools like, oh my God, are they really doing that stuff? And the goal is to capitalize on that and to siphon money out of the education budgets through private schools, because they're going to offer you the solution, and that's going to be their solution. Private schools. Let us make money off of you.
I agree with that. I do, but I will do the flip side of this too. Deborah Gist and Woolley, what's her name?
Stacy
Woolley. Deborah Gist and Stacy Woolley are two of the most horrible human beings on earth, in my opinion. Deborah Gist makes almost $500,000 a year to fail students. We're talking 16, 17% proficiency scores. And she's just out there like, yeah, we're doing so much great shit here in Tulsa. You're not doing a fucking thing in Tulsa except failing students. And sending people to prison that are uneducated. That's what you're doing, Deborah Gist. And you need to be held accountable as much as Ryan Walters or Joy Hoffmeister or Dana Perito, all of them.
Yep. It should be said that Tulsa Public Schools has been failing for a very, very long time. When I was in elementary school, it was even worse than it was now. I mean, it was terrible. Gangs everywhere. They had drugs in the schools. I mean, they had people getting raped in the bathrooms, women getting raped in the bathrooms. And
when you were in school?
Yes, in elementary school. This would have been around 1990 or so. In fact, one of them got so bad they had to shut it down because of all the gang activity. And it was one of the schools that my brother went to. So Tulsa has had problems for 20 plus 30 years now. So it's not just the superintendent or the administration, because these problems have followed them all. I think it's a matter of just how large and poor the population is that they're having to service. I honestly believe that the solution to Tulsa Public Schools is to split them all up into manageable districts, so that you have a superintendent and a set of board members for this area. You have a superintendent and board members for this area. And yes, it may cost a little bit more because you're going to have multiple superintendents doing it, but you're asking one person to deal with all of those people. It just doesn't work, in my opinion. I don't know that you
could not agree more. That needs to be a fucking video itself. You are absolutely right. Tulsa Public Schools is overwhelmed and understaffed.
Absolutely. And I think the best course of action there is to get the funding into those schools independently, so that they can, kind of do their own thing for the district that they'll be serving. And Tina Michelle Craig said, amen, Ron. You are the real Ron. Are you the real Ron, or are you the real gay? I'm still.
No, I'm not the real gay. And that is, somebody called me on Twitter the other day. They're like, the real gay don't pray. You don't know me. You don't know if I pray or not.
I hate to laugh, Ron, but it's kind of funny, but that's rude and shitty.
The dude blocked me. He was so badass that he had to block me, Riley Flack.
Yeah, it was Riley Flack. This is a hardcore Christian conservative. Not that that really matters, but that kind of goes against, your morality code.
Probably got Scott Pressler at his house right now.
Oh man. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Yeah, you'll hear about that one later, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Like, oh my God.
I call him a Scott Pressler. I think his boots are too high, and I think he should cut his hair. But he's got good shit.
Yeah, I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy. I don't know anything about him. I don't even think I've seen a picture of the dude. Not that it matters. And I don't know. I kind of feel bad for him because surely he realizes what they're doing.
Sure, I mean, he's a smart guy. He has to know what they're doing, yeah.
Right. And, maybe to him it's worth it because it's kind of like a foot in the door type deal. Well, if maybe they see me.
Right. Maybe that's his niche. He's like, hey, they're paying me to come do this. And, yeah, it works for me, works for them. Let's just, yeah I get it.
I'm not going to. Tina Michelle says Kaiser wouldn't have that. I mean, maybe that. I don't know how integrated Kaiser is or what their pool is with the administration, but they definitely need to.
I think they're very intertwined, and I do think there's some validity to that. Absolutely. How much, I don't know. I mean, Kaiser, you got Kaiser, the Walton Foundation. It's Jennifer Stevens.
Yep.
Hi, look at this lady right here.
Go ahead and read it, Ron. I know you know her, so go ahead.
We have history together, and we are kindred souls. We should look at this work Cindy Him did at Eugene Field in Tulsa. That's one of the schools serving one of the most impoverished areas of Tulsa. She works wonders. I will look into that. I don't know Cindy, and I don't know about Eugene Field, but we'll make sure to make that a priority. If y'all don't know who Jennifer Stevens is, she is the vice chair for GOP in Tulsa County. Wonderful woman. I believe her husband Stan is running for House Rep seat 79 up in Bartlesville. Is that right? Jennifer, correct me. Tell me where Stan's running for his seat. You will be impressed. I will check it out. I will.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so that you said Eugene Field, is that the name of a school? Because for those who aren't familiar, Tulsa is huge. There are a lot of schools there.
It's the biggest school district in the state.
Yeah. Tulsa against Melissa Provenzano.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
Yep, Stan's running with Melissa Provenzano, which I can't stand Melissa Provenzano because she's so far left. I mean, I've met Stan people.
I recognize the name, but have I met her? Do you know?
Jennifer Stevens?
No. Melissa Provenzano.
No, she refuses to meet with us.
Okay.
I've actually, she's one of those Gina Nelson types.
Gotcha. So that's the name of the school she was principal at. Okay. Now, since you brought up Gina Nelson, I want to make a point here. There are a lot of people that they're like, you're bitching about him now, but you supported Ryan Walters. I want to make myself very clear. I will never vote for a politician ever that tells me, basically to my face, that I don't fucking want you to be my supporter. Why would I ever do that? Even knowing now what I know about Ryan Walters, I would still vote for the guy over her because of what she did. Period.
Dude, does it bother you? Does it bother you when you see comments of people? They're like, "Oh, I didn't want to tell. I don't want to say that I told you so, but I told you so." No, it's Gina Nelson's fault. He said no to us.
Yes, I was a supporter, and she said, "No, I don't like you. You can't come to my what was once a public event. Now I turned it private the day of." Fuck that. No, I have more integrity than that. I'm not gonna. I'm just
worst politicians. The worst politicians.
Right, and to me, like that's why she lost. It didn't have anything to do with my vote. She lost because she was pandering to schools only, school administrators, and the sycophants for status quo every time. We're not going to change anything because it's perfect, even though we're like dead last almost.
The Margaret Coates, the Amy Fitchners, the Deborah Gist, the Joy Hoffmans, those type people. That's what. Sorry, I can't do that anymore because it's not working. It hasn't been working. It's not going to work. We have to change it up. We did with Ryan. Now he's crashing the plane too, but it's a different plane.
I need to do a video about that. Him, crashing the plane. Oh my God!
He
But
may
yet,
pull it up.
I,
He may pull it up. I don't know. I'm holding out.
I don't. I don't think he is. I think he is. I think other people are kind of directing him to do these things because this is a conspiracy that's way bigger than him. This is like national GOP stuff. Oh, Sandy said, love the video, Tim. I myself do not agree with burning a flag or disrespecting it, but whatever people, there you go. And it is everybody's right to be upset with that. But we're talking, these people are like, if you don't like the U.S., you can just get the fuck out. And I'm like, look, if you don't like the U.S. and you want to force people to do stuff, go to freaking North Korea. How about that? That works both ways. And Jennifer, thank you for clarifying that.
Pull up Tina's question real quick.
Eugene Field,
go ahead.
Is another Kaiser creating in the new development.
So,
see,
do you know this as the gospel, or is that just your opinion? And either way is fine with me. If it's a Kaiser thing, I don't appreciate Kaiser having his hands in everything, and I do think that he does, and I think the Walton Foundation does, and the Koch brothers, and it's all gross to me. But I would like to research that more. So, if there's something you can tell me in private or in message that I can research. You know me, I don't have a problem saying what I need to say.
Well, I'd like to make this point. Kaiser is a Tulsa-based thing, right? George Kaiser is a Tulsa-based. All of his stuff is here in Oklahoma, right?
Yep.
The Koch brothers, the Walton family, the Walton Foundation, all of those things, they're not from Oklahoma. So you've got...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, you've got two different entities that do generally the same thing, which is fund these kind of political directions and directives, right? One of them being somewhere else, the other one being part of Oklahoma. So to me, it seems more reasonable to assume that Kaiser may have more good intentions than, say, Koch brothers or the Walton Foundation.
Hey, can you get the Tulsa City Councilman on here live with us real quick?
Oh, yeah, we are currently live. Are you wanting to come on there, Grant?
We can get up here in a little bit, but you got a few minutes if you want to come on here and say something.
Yeah, we got about 15 minutes. Let me send Grant. I'm gonna send you a message, buddy. Let me.
I love this dude. He's not even a Republican or Democrat. He's a damn libertarian.
Yeah. All right, there we go. So yeah, I sent that. Grant, if you're wanting to come on, you can just click on that link.
Grant, come on for a few minutes.
Oh,
I want to ask about the homeless people versus the Gilcrease Museum shit. Anyway, because Grant said, "Hey, we got all these homeless people, but we're fixing to sink $10 million or whatever it was into the Gilcrease Museum." I understand we need arts and stuff like that, but we got a real problem with homeless people in Tulsa.
Yeah, Grant, if you want to come on and talk about that, we'll give you the last 12 minutes to plead your case to the people in Tulsa about what you feel like needs to be done or whatever.
We'll give you 8 minutes, Grant.
But if not, don't worry about it. It's it's not a big deal. He doesn't have to come on.
And if you don't know who Grant Miller is, and I don't mean to Grant Miller, but the dude is doing the work over in Tulsa. He's calling people out. He's making sure the money's spent properly. He is fighting for his constituents. He listens to them.
And transparency.
Transparency for sure.
That is a big one.
Grant Miller was the very first politician that came on my show. That link isn't clickable. That's what she said.
That's weird. I mean, I don't know. Let me here, Ron. I'm going to put this in the private chat. Switch over to the private chat real quick. Copy that link and send that to him and see if he can get on it that way. Let's do that. Let's try it that way. I don't know. I just sent it to Facebook, so I don't know. Let's see. Come watch Grant take the issues on in the forum we're hosting this Thursday. It's the only forum where both sides are being represented and allowing public to participate in real moderated discussion. Can you send a link to that, Jennifer? Text it. If you have my number, Grant, will you text it to me? Or just send me a text, because I don't think I saved your name under your number. Oh, crap. No, dang it. I accidentally just sent that to Dana Prieto.
Maybe he'll come on too.
Yeah, maybe he'll come on. We just drag them all in here. I was actually going to send this to you in text, is what I was trying to do. Let's do it that way. There. I sent you a text, Ron. Will you text that to Grant?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Hang on a second.
We'll get this figured out. Sorry, guys. We didn't know that Grant was going to be there and be willing to come on and give us a couple of minutes of his time. We know he's a busy guy, so we certainly appreciate it. And to Jennifer, thank you. I appreciate that. And, yeah, just share that around. That's
Jennifer, if you want to come on, I would love to hear what you got to say too, Jennifer. Come on.
well, you got that link, so you can shoot it over to her, too.
Well,
we also
savvy.
And if you're just coming on here and you're not familiar with our show, we will be having Andy Fugate on hopefully soon.
Dude, tell them about the others too. We got a lineup coming up, Tim.
Yes, so Christy Gillespie has agreed to come on. Nothing set in stone there, but we're working on that, as well as Shelley Gwartney. So there'll be a Senate seat that's for the Senate District 33. Isn't that right? Ron, isn't that? Okay.
I know Tim. Hang on.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I know I'd called him on the phone once, but that was.
What did you ask me? What was the question?
Senate District 33 is Gillespie and Gwartney, right? Isn't it 33? I think it's 33.
Okay.
You write that down.
I'm back. Okay. Yes, Barrett.
Maybe this will work, y'all. Maybe we'll get Grant on here now, so that'll be good. Jennifer says yes. Okay.
Yes to what?
I assume that's for Senate District 33 for Gwartney and Gillespie. Yes.
District 33. Christy Gillespie has said that she would love to come on the show and talk to us about different stuff. And also Shelley Gwartney has agreed, I believe, Tim. Is that correct?
Yes. What's up, man? Finally got that worked out. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, fellas?
Not much. Yeah. So what was going on with the money? Ron was talking about the homeless situation. You want to fill us in on that?
Well, let's see. Which one was that? Refresh my memory.
Gilcrease expansion versus spending money.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, I've been harping on that for a long time. But yeah, that we're supposed to spend. We told the taxpayers we're going to spend $65 million on an expansion of the Gilcrease. Turns out they get in there and decide they're going to tear it down and rebuild it. It ends up being $140 million, and they said they were going to raise private dollars for that, which they raised a lot of private money, which I think I heard you guys talking about. It's good that we get private money, but at some point can be a detriment as well. But with all that being said, it went to 140. Most of it was private, but they said it was all going to be private, or at least that's what I was told. And then turns out they come back asking for $6 million more. I said no to that. Everybody else said yes. Then they say, well, we also need $10 million more in the IoT package. We'll do matching funds. And that was one of the reasons I said no to that, in addition to the fact that, we just didn't have nearly enough time to do our due diligence on that IoT. And you've got that Zinc Dam project that's $50 million we're about to spend, and you got the oil refinery seeping petrochemicals into the river, and they're going to go fill that thing up with water. You can see oil floating on top of the water that's already in there. And we know that there's a big spill, 394 acres, right on the river there. And you know that it's in that riverbed and all along the bank there. So DEQ's aware of it. They're on some kind of maintenance plan to try and get it cleaned up. But it's just the IoT has been rushed through. I guess some counselors say they had their time to do the due diligence on it, but I don't see how. I mean, they just announced that we were going to think about doing that in March. Took one day of tours to multiple facilities, and then in April they come out and say, yeah, we're going to do it. And in May they say, hey, by the way, next month you need a vote to put it on the ballot. And I'm like, $814 million in spending in 60 days total. Just
wow,
blows my mind. But anyway.
So that when you say IoT, you're referring to the Internet of Things, right?
Might as well be. I mean, it's as ambiguous and vague as that. It's the Improve Our Tulsa 3 package.
Okay. Because IoT, to me, is Internet of Things, but it's like when your microwave can talk to your cell phone. Oh, wait. What's up, buddy?
Hey, let me ask you real quick, Grant. I got two questions for you, and I'll turn it back over to you. I appreciate the fact that you did an open records request for and I don't know if you can speak to it or not, where people were talking about you at an open meeting and talking shit about you. But I appreciate you doing that. Can you speak to that? Is that case done? And then the other thing,
no, it's not done. It's still ongoing right now. It's still ongoing right now. As a matter of fact, the Oklahoma Supreme Court just took it up because an issue came up where there could have been some records removed from OFCN. And so the Supreme Court just agreed a couple of days ago to take that case.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, it all originated with the 3 counselors. And I hate that is the kind of talking point, like that they were talking trash on me, which is true that they were, right? But that's not the main point. The main point is they were discussing city business right there in the middle of a city council meeting privately amongst themselves.
Right.
So
we lost you, but I think we've got you back now.
Oh, okay. What I leave off with?
It was just for a split second.
Oh, okay. The narrative that the media wanted out there and put out there is, oh, city councilors say other councilor is ridiculous in private text messages, Open Records Act, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the actual problem. They can say whatever they want about me. I don't have a problem with that at all. I know what they say about me. They said it publicly. Whenever we were campaigning. They called me a fascist and all kinds of other stuff. I know the kind of nasty things they say about me, them and their online people. That's not a problem, right? The problem is that they were talking about $10 million of Gilcrease funding and the homelessness issue, which is what was being discussed at the table at that time. They were talking about that stuff instead of saying that stuff out loud, which is the whole purpose of an open meeting. Why even bother going to the trouble of creating an agenda and announcing it days early and putting it out there and allowing the public in and filming it and doing all this production? Why even bother with all that if we're just going to sit there and privately text amongst ourselves?
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right to do what you're doing, and I have a feeling that the Supreme Court is going to go your way. I mean, the laws are pretty clear on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, this thing that went up to the Supreme Court is just, it's like an ancillary issue. It's like a side issue.
Oh.
Because they asked for recusal of the judge, and she refused, and then there were some issues with OSC, and you can go read all those filings. I don't want to really get into it, but I mean, it's public, so you can go read the motions to recuse and all that stuff.
Nice.
So this
One
one
more
officially.
thing. One more thing before I turn it over to Tim.
Yeah.
Are you running for re-election? Are you wanting to stay in this shit show?
I mean, it's not exactly it's not a fun job, but I promise to do it and do it to the best of my ability, and that's what I am doing. And so as long as people will have me, that's what I'll continue to do. I mean, I'm not going to disappoint all the people that donated to me and took their time to go out and vote and did all of that stuff by being like, oh, okay, I'm done. Not that I don't think that people see this as like, oh, I think they get in there and they get this title and this complex, and then they want to stay in there and hold on to that seat and that power and the people calling them all the time and asking, leaning on them. I think they just get addicted to that. Me, I don't really honestly enjoy that part of it. Like, I enjoy going and holding people accountable and sitting in there and making tough decisions, answering questions and being a representative of people. But like, it's not a fun job for me. But I mean, I'm, you know, just like being in the military or whatever else, it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make to, you know, better my community. So
I love it. I
Absolutely.
love it.
You're serving,
Yeah.
and that's, that says a lot. I mean, I don't have anything else. We've got like 6 seconds left, really. I've got to say, I really appreciate you coming on. That's awesome to give us some of your time. Looks like
Would
you're
you
enjoying
like
the
to come back
outside
on?
there.
what's that?
Did you come back on sometime soon?
Yeah, I mean, just let me know when you guys want me to come on. I'm happy to
I
take a
love
guest
it.
spot,
I'm in.
chat it up.
I love your
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and end it there because we're about to jet ourselves. But you enjoy the rest of your evening, sir.
Sounds good, guys. All right, talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That's good
That
stuff,
was
man.
impromptu. It was great stuff, but it was impromptu, and this is what happens. People watch us; they want to come on. I'm going to get with Jennifer because I saw you brought up one of Jennifer's.
Yes, she was
I mean,
talking about the installation
Yeah.
of Tulsa. Is that what he said it was? Installment
Yeah.
of Tulsa or installation of Tulsa or something?
Yeah. So there's different aspect to this from both sides, I guess. And then she said, "Please bring all the details, numbers on that Thursday grant." I'm sure
Yeah.
he probably will, unlike Bob Jack, who brings his own numbers. Sorry, Jennifer, that was a joke.
That's funny.
But anyway,
Yeah.
no,
Well-
Jennifer, have Jennifer and Stan sometime if he's willing.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. We can just line them up because we're going to be probably busy over the next maybe month or two.
I mean, we're popping up here a little bit, Tim. I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but making a difference is cool.
Well, I think people can appreciate being able to come in and not feel like somebody's shoving an agenda in their face. And I think that's what we try to do is, because we both see things and we call it out, and that's just the way it is.
Well, I just seek knowledge and information, and I can make up my own mind. I'm not trying to change anybody else's mind. I'm just wanting the information and the knowledge.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're here to do. But right now, our time has come to an end. And do you have anything else? Any last words, Ron?
I love everybody, and the Ron's always here for you. Send me your text information if you got the scoop on anybody. That's another thing. Or text him. If you know something's wrong and something's going on in your local municipality or sheriff's office or whatever, let us know because we can say shit that y'all can't.
Right. But send that with information that we can vet because we don't want to just put things out there that may not be true. So we'll never reveal our sources. That's just, that's elementary journalism there.
Yeah, we're not unwelcome. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, he burned that source. Jesus, that was crazy. But that's all I've got for now. I appreciate everybody watching and hope to see you guys again during our next videos.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, we'll catch you next time. Peace.